This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca.
It's time for Overrated, Underrated with Ryder and Lisa.
Today I'm going with something that I think is underrated. You...
Thank you.
No, it's not you. But you bought your daughter some Lunchables. Mm-hmm. And I was just watching her snacking on one yesterday. I was like, those are awesome. Convenient. Mm-hmm. They even come with a little dessert. There's a chocolate bar. It's usually a Kit Kat, which is one of the best chocolate bars. The perfect amount of satisfied when you're done.
The slimy meat just hits perfect on that cracker, yeah.
Somehow the crackers don't get soggy even though they're in there.
Yeah.
With the others, they're fun to make. It's fun to put the little sandwiches together.
I will agree underrated, but I have to admit I'm a little bit upset. You're telling me you watched her have a Lunchable.
Yeah.
That's what she had for lunch when you weren't around.
Yeah, she had one again last night.
No, we can't be double Lunchable. And you know how much those things cost? Oh,
they are
great.
Okay, that is the downside, though. They are overpriced. Overpriced, but underrated.
If you were to buy that much ham, that many crackers, that much cheese, you're paying the same amount. So, I guess. But, come on, kid. One a day max.
Well, there's Kit Kats in them. Of course you're going to open them. You're going to dive in for sure.
All right, I'm going with underrated today, and that is sweating profusely. I played slow pitch last night in the heat.
I can't imagine. And your team plays 2 games in a night? Mm-hmm. No chance. I could never. I wouldn't be here today. I'd be hooked up to it. What are those things called?
IV.
I wanted to say UV, and I was like, that's wrong. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no. So I ended up wearing a gray T-shirt, not really thinking about it.
Oh, wow.
And I was
that is brave.
Very damp. So I had the huge circle on the top of my chest that was all wet.
I don't even wear gray in the winter. Even that is risky.
But here's why I think sweating profusely is underrated.
Okay.
Because I didn't care. I felt athletic.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And anytime there was a slight breeze, it would tickle my wet spots.
Can you never say that ever again? Tickle my wet spot.
It would.
We got a text in this morning from Scuba Steve, and he said something that he thinks is underrated: wearing boxers when you're golfing in 30-degree weather because #cool balls. Is it breezy?
Yeah, I suppose. When you're on the cart, specifically, you would
gross.
get a good draft.
Okay.
But yeah, good drafts is what it's all about.
Good drafts is okay.
As I was running, again, tickling my wet spots.
All right. We get it.
Okay.
Ryder and Lisa.
Tell
me something
good. For Gabriella Cruz Boudoir and Photography. Be your beautiful self and discover the art of boudoir at GabriellaCruz.ca.
Play 107.
An Israeli kindergarten teacher has gone viral. She's also a mother of 3. Mrs. Siegel is her name. Wanted to do something meaningful for her 50th birthday. But rather than receiving a present, she chose to give one. In memory of her late grandfather, she really wanted to donate a kidney to somebody.
Really?
Turns out the recipient was a 3-year-old boy.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, oh, no, that a little 3-year-old needed that. But yeah,
She gave it to him. She even wrote him a note that said, you don't know me, you don't understand my language, and I don't understand yours, but soon we'll be very close because my kidney will be in your body. I hope with all my heart that the surgery will succeed and you will live a long and healthy and meaningful life.
Tell me something good.
My story is about a family who was watching TV and they recognized a dog at one of the dog shelters as theirs, who they lost 2 years ago.
What?
And so immediately they called and they said, hey, did that dog that you just had on the TV have this mark and this mark? And they're like, yeah, turns out it was their dog. So they went back, they went to the shelter and picked up their pup.
Speaking of that, I did see a story, just so if you're listening right now and you're interested in getting a new furry friend.
Yes.
Apparently there's a lot of people that are dropping off their dogs post-COVID, their COVID puppies. Fort McMurray, for example, is completely, they're turning away dogs now because they're too full. So please consider
Well,
it.
it's sad, but when you think a lot of people probably got a dog thinking they could take care of it, and now that the real world is back and they're out of the house all day and stuff, maybe they just don't think that they can take care of it, or like obviously they're financially draining in certain ways. So
Just a reminder to support those
shelters,
humane society and shelters. Yeah.
absolutely.
Tell me something good.
Are you bad? Because we have a badass prize up for grabs.
Yeah, we do. Thanks to Cal Mustara from Maxwell Progressive. He was like, I'm going to hook you all up with some local gift cards to get your listeners to help support local. So he's awesome. Reach out to him for all of your real estate needs. We have a $50 gift card to Northern Chicken, which I think is one of the most badass chicken places in the city.
Oh, it's without question.
Not even badass chicken place, like one of the best places in the city.
Yeah.
Everything that they represent is amazing. If you follow them on Twitter, etc. So highly recommend that place. So
If you've never been in it before,
it's cool in there.
It is super cool, so give it a go. All right, so you just have to tell us how bad you are. It's 780-784-7107, and then we'll determine who's the baddest today and hook them up.
I got a refill at a McDonald's, even though you were not allowed to get refills.
Oh.
Ooh, a fountain pop?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, did you used to be able to get refills there, and then just with new regulations around COVID, restrictions around COVID, they changed that? Or has McDonald's never been a refill place?
No, it's been a refill place
Right.
since they put out the open pop stuff. But yeah, because of COVID, it's not. But, you got to get it when you need it.
Well, that actually is quite bad then, Shane.
All right, fine.
Oh, you're so bad.
780-784-7107.
Paulina wrote in saying she was driving 60 kilometers an hour in the new implemented 40 kilometers an hour area.
Yeah, she bad.
That is bad. Kathy says, I was bad this morning. I slept in until 5:30 a.m. instead of 5.
God, you're such a bad person. Like, all the way through to your core.
Angela texted in saying, I'm getting new furniture delivered, table, chairs, mattress, everything. They all come in cardboard boxes. But on the garbage room door in Angela's complex, it clearly states that there are cameras and all recycling must be taken by yourself to the recycle place. You can't leave it in the garbage room. She has made multiple trips with huge boxes and just pretends that she can't see the sign.
She's bad. I'm feeling a little bad this morning. I last night was playing a math game with my daughter.
Look at you. Who plays math in the summer?
Yeah, we're working on it. Apparently the new curriculum, grade 5s are going to get hammered next year with tough math. So we're trying to stay ahead of it. Anyway, it's a dice game. I've incorporated gambling with a 9-year-old, like actual
With every
money.
aspect of your life. Hit the button.
Let's see who's bad, man. Come on, let's go.
But I did roll a bad number. She didn't see it. So I rolled again. So now I'm not only gambling with my child.
You're cheating at the games.
Who's bad?
Oh, that's awesome. Again, we're asking you, like, why are you bad? Because we have a Northern Chicken gift card we want to give away. Holly texted in saying, got my 1-year-old up and fed, but then I watched her poop in her diaper. I pretended I didn't notice it. Woke her dad up. He found it. He had to change it.
Are you bad?
780-784-7107.
I go to the grocery store and I buy myself some organic carrots, but when I go through the self-checkout, I just put them through as regular carrots. Best way to eat organic on a dime, but it comes with a little bit of guilt.
Every time you're eating them, you're like, shame, shame, shame,
crunch,
shame.
shame, shame,
Eating
crunch.
organic.
Oh, you're so bad.
Play 107.
The best situational flips. Now, this one we're really branching out because we can talk about like your first trampoline flip. That's going to be an honorable mention today. Or even like flip flops.
What about people that flipped to our station and they stayed on our station?
That's a really good one.
I know. Well, Grace is listening, and she said, my mother and I like to flip through stations, and yours has been our favorite that we found.
Hey, that's a
what's
good
up.
flip.
That's such a good flip.
That might even have to make her into the top 7 today.
No, that's an honorable mention.
Okay.
It's not relatable to other people.
Let's start getting into it.
Yep, let's do it.
At number 7, I have the figure skating backflip, which is a bit of a unicorn as far as flips go.
Can you imagine training for that and then your first time doing it on the ice?
But here's the thing about them. They're not allowed in the Olympics.
Oh, they're not?
You're not allowed to do the backflip. So the only
Because
time
you'd instantly
see it,
win. You'd instantly win.
well, yeah, maybe it's too dangerous. You would think that some of the flips and spins that they do is more dangerous than that, but you do see it every once in a while, like randomly. You'll be flipping, you'll be like, people are doing backflips on skates. So that's the number 7 best situational flip. Number 6.
Flipping the bird. Don't do it to me as an example. Nobody can see us.
Okay.
Did that feel good though?
Yeah, that's a really powerful
Not
flip.
the double bird.
Yeah.
Double flipping.
That might even that's number 5.
No, it's not.
A funny story about flipping the bird is I have a 9-year-old. She may have saw me give the finger once or twice while driving. So she tried the other day, which I told her was not appropriate. But she tried to give the finger to our roommate Grant and gave it backwards. And I was like, you just gave the finger to yourself.
Yes. I like that you have switched it though to instead of giving the finger, honey, you just give him a thumbs down from the back seat, okay?
Yeah, so that's what I got her doing all the time. And number 5 is the old burger flip. Now, this can mean a couple things. That's why it worked its way so high in the list of the situational 7 at 7 best flips, because it can be actually flipping a burger on a grill, which is nice, great sound effects.
Yeah, the
when
sizzle.
You do that.
The sizzle.
But also there is a move called a burger flip where you
No, we don't support the move of the burger flip.
where you walk up, let's say, to your husband and just give his little man boob a little flip. And that's called a burger flip. More so here, the reason this is on the list, though, is the actual cheeseburger flip. Okay?
That's the one we're adding, not
Well, I had to
Not the
point it
other
out.
one.
I couldn't just ignore that that's a thing.
with the burger flip. Amanda wrote in, and I think we need to add this to the burger flip. She said, have you ever flipped your entire burger upside down and eaten it upside down?
No.
You get the flavors in a different way in the mouth.
Whoa.
I know. They touch your tongue sooner.
No, they touch your tongue later. 'Cause
I don't
the
know.
bun on the top's thicker.
Oh.
But I would be good.
But it would go in different directions,
Yeah,
you know?
even the condiments would hit different. I'm going to try that. All right.
Maybe that's what she means. Maybe you put the condiments on the bottom.
And then...
Because the bigger
Wait, wait.
side of the bun sucks all the juices.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. Whatever.
I'm eating an upside down burger this weekend one way or another.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Number 4 for the best situational flips is the Motorola Razr flip.
In movies, in real life, dramatic moments.
Especially if you did it with just the old one hand, like almost like you were casting a fishing line and it just pops open. That's a badass flip.
Yep.
Number 3 is the OG, the coin flip. Really fun to do.
I'm terrible at it.
Can decide anything, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of the only games on the planet that is truly 50-50. Number 2 is houses.
Oh,
Flipping a house. If you can do that. and
Profitable.
You know how to do it. Yeah, that's got to be on the list
Yeah.
for important flips. And number 1, I don't think it can be disputed. Back to food. The pancake
flip.
Yeah. Like the feeling of the perfect flip, the way even the spatula slides under so smoothly. It's
Plus,
meant to be there.
The beauty of the nice, smooth top of a pancake.
Totally. Something really refreshing about that. The best situational flips. What a ride.
A107.
Ever have anything crazy discovered in maybe your hometown, your house? A couple stories going viral right now that are pretty wild. One involves, which is not funny by any stretch. The second one's funny. We'll get to that in a second. But the first is a venomous West African banded cobra snake is loose in a Dallas suburb. So the pet's owner, which this pet's not even allowed like to be owned, but this guy had one. It got out of the cage and nobody can find it.
Oh, no.
And it's very venomous. I would be, especially as a parent, absolutely terrified if that was the case. Even if it was like 25 blocks over, I'd be like, no playing in the grass like until this thing's found. That's so scary.
So, you know how snakes are scary as is? Imagine if they had feet. Like, just think about it for a second.
That is very terrifying.
I know. I don't know why I just thought of that. It's really grim and dark, but it came to my head and I was like, whoa.
How many feet would they need to have?
A lot.
A lot of feet.
It would be like a centipede.
Yeah. This is the snake's owner who does sound fairly remorseful that this has happened.
I did make a mistake, and I feel very sorry for the community. I came back, and the cage door was open by an inch. She must have found a way to open it up. I think that it's probably still in the wall.
So he ended up tearing out a bunch of the walls in the house to try to find it. I bet his landlord loves that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I bet the landlord is pleased to begin with. Oh, you had a
what?
A legal snake? Cool.
I said no pets. The other story that's going viral, which, like I said, is a little bit more lighthearted, involves a huge beach ball.
How big are we talking here?
5 foot high. So like one of the massive beach balls. Like you'll occasionally see it like a music festival, I think is the only place I've seen one. But it's been bouncing around this town in Wisconsin, and people are really embracing it. Here's some of the town's residents discussing.
I did make a mistake.
No, that's Snake Guy again. Here are some of the townspeople.
We are like, oh my God, everybody's crazy for the ball.
It's just spontaneous. People just love it. Somebody mentioned there was a giant beach ball bouncing around, and from there, people started signing it and sending it on, rolling it to different streets.
So people are like driving, finding it, taking pictures with it. Apparently it's had a couple holes and they've repaired it.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if there's going to be somebody who's just in a really bad mood.
Like
they ruin the fun for everyone.
Like at every music festival.
Yeah, it's
when
true.
somebody's finally like, I'm done with this ball. Someone actually created a poll to name the ball. So no word yet on if they've decided on a name.
Wilson.
The strangest, good answer. The strangest thing that I've ever seen was I was driving through Lloyd and there was a semi in front of me and it kind of stunk. And I was like, what's the smell everywhere? And then at the red light, when it turned green, it started driving and a bunch of pig heads rolled out of the truck. So it was like a scene of a horror film. This would have been like the remains of pigs that they didn't need that were in the truck.
And like I know one of our favorite listeners, Janice, is listening. Mm-hmm. She's vegan. She's probably disgusted right now. So I'm sorry about the visual.
Sorry, but it was like something out of a horror movie where you're driving and like doof, doof.
Ugh, no.
And like looking to the left, pig head, looking to the right, pig head. You're like, what is happening in the city?
So was that in the news?
I think there was like serious traffic stops because they had to pick up all of these things, which not a great job, right?
But you got to think about the times when the truck, the back unlatches and awesome things fall out, and then the city gets to go and collect those.
Good point.
Like chocolate bars.
Well, that's what the number one reason I'm happy we've transitioned from beer bottles to beer cans. Because if that ever happens,
you'd be the first one on site.
We're good. You had quite an evening. I was at Slow Pitch, so you and my mom, who's in town, and my 9-year-old were kicking it together.
Yeah, I figured she'd want to come and watch some of your Slow Pitch game because you're such a mama's boy. So I was like, I'll take you to the game for a little bit. So we only stayed for like, a half an hour or so. And then we headed back to the house and I put on a movie for her and your daughter to watch. Like Sword in the Stone, obviously, is what I chose, in case anyone's wondering. And I was like, let's all get into our PJs. Let's get comfortable. And it was funny because all three of us had like matching tops and bottom, like the full on PJ sets.
Okay.
They had their slippers on. And then your mom's brother lives here in town and he wasn't answering his phone. So she was worried about him. He hasn't been
feeling well.
So she was like, I'm just worried about him. And he only lives 5 minutes from where you live. And I could tell she was stressed. And I was like, what a terrible vacation if she can't sleep tonight. So I suggested, I was like, let's go check on him. He's not answering his phone. If you're concerned, let's go ease your mind and just make sure that he's all good.
So you roll over there, the three of
us in our pajamas at like 9:30 p.m. last night. And then we pull up and there's a massive construction in front of his house. We can't even access the front door. So we had to go to down the back alley, and the back door was locked. We couldn't get through the gate. So your daughter is like, I'll climb the fence. Keep in mind, we're still in our full-blown pajamas. So she gets on top of his garbage bin to get over the fence, and then she gets too scared. Like the fence is way too high. But good for her. She was so brave.
Yeah.
And so we were panicking. We're like, we can't get in. Your mom's like, I don't know the garage code. She's calling people. She's like, I just need to make sure my brother's okay. And I know what that's like. I'm very protective of my sisters, and I would do whatever it takes to just even just break into their house to make sure they're good.
So what did you do?
So we ended up going back to the front and walking through this construction site. But because it's all blocked off, we had to walk through other people's properties, on their front lawn.
They must have been very confused.
The amount of people in that area that have really protective dogs, they were on us. Keep in mind, they're still in their slippers because we assumed we could have just drove up the driveway and walked into the house.
Right.
Not the case.
Not the case.
So we looked like insane people. Because keep in mind, the sun is still up at this time, so they don't have shoes on.
No.
We ended up knocking on the neighbor's door to get some ladders to climb the fence and get over it to get into his backyard.
Insane. And then he got there, and it turns out his phone was just on silent.
Yeah, and he's like, what are you guys doing? And she's like, you are taking years off of my life.
Turn your damn sound on. If you're PVRing the women's gold medal game, just going to give you a heads up.
Turn
it
down your radio.
For about 30 seconds this time.
Yeah.
As there's an outcome. All right, now we can freely talk about it. Canada just won the gold medal in shootouts. How intense was that?
It was so entertaining. Because there were so many ups and downs. I was like, oh, we're not winning. There's no way. And then we'd make a comeback.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
Captivating. I said to you before the shootout started, this could be the most intense sports moment of your life.
It's one of them.
As a sports fan.
The gold medal hockey game from...
Right up there with it.
It's up there. So Johnny Jasno was in the studio watching the results with us, and he captured our reaction here in the studio. So I just posted the video on Play 107's Instagram. Go check it out.
I'm still buzzing, guys.
Yeah,
I'm just jacked. I'm jacked up right now.
I've got the hair is standing up on my arms. Okay, so we have this system where you have to hit the button and then it says Ryder and Lisa. And I went to hit the button with the mouse and I'm shaking so much.
Oh, wow.
From the intensity that I couldn't get it to the right spot on the computer. Congratulations to Team Canada, and specifically to Christine Sinclair, who will go down as one of the best athletes in Canadian history. I can't think of a more deserving athlete to finally be world champion.
Yeah, so she's the all-time international goal-scoring record holder.
Amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? Congratulations to Sweden. They showed up today.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll call it now. They'll likely win either the next World Cup or the next Olympics because they're just a dominant team. But right now, we are the champions. Woo! You have some drama unfolding with all of your best friends right now. It's getting pretty serious.
Yeah, so we're doing a girls' trip. There's 6 of us that are going. And
can I?
No.
Okay.
And there's only one friend that's like, we need to take 2 separate vehicles. I have too much luggage. And we're like, we're going for 2 sleeps. What do you need? Pack a backpack. And she's like, I don't pack light. So we need 2 vehicles. And we're like, no. Amanda drives a vehicle that holds 8. That's a lot of space. Plus the road trip there is going to be one of the funnest parts. That's the experience. We're finally all together.
Yeah.
I haven't been with this group of girlfriends for over 2 years.
I hope that you guys are leaving before 7 p.m. or you'll all be sleeping in the vehicle.
I know. Majority of them are mothers.
Early bedtimes for sure.
So, but no, the drama is the friend that wants to take 2 vehicles and pack heavier. She's such a brat. She writes in our group chat, shotgun. That's not how this works. Are you new here? You have to see the vehicle before you call shotgun.
I have another idea for shotgun. You could, because you're meeting at my place before you all leave, right?
That's
where
correct.
they're stashing vehicles and stuff?
Yep.
Okay. So everybody gets there, and we can either draw cards to see who gets shotgun.
Okay.
Or we can have a kissing contest.
No, nobody's kissing you.
I'll determine who gets shotgun.
The best kisser gets shotgun.
I call the game the Mono Olympics. 70% of people polled have had an intimate interaction during a severe thunderstorm or even tornado.
No way.
Yeah.
How are you focusing on anything else?
But being scared.
Being terrified, hiding under a table or whatever they tell you to do.
Yeah, like, get to the basement. And then you get to the basement, and I think we're alone now.
I think we're alone now.
Let's both go and lay in the middle of the floor together.
This could be our last moment here on Earth. What should we do?
Isn't that a wild stat, though? 70%.
That's high.
Man, I'm blaming it on the fact we haven't got much rain this year. We are joined by Alan, the Director of Operations for Find. What does Find do, Alan?
Find is a social enterprise with two goals: supplying low-cost, quality furniture for sale to the public and providing essential furnishings free of charge to individuals and families who are transitioning out of homelessness through our Housing First program. Every donation helps individuals and families moving out of homelessness through the Housing First program in Edmonton. And all proceeds benefit our Housing First participants to help them make their new space a home.
And what items are you looking for?
We definitely need dressers, couches, love seats, TV stands, apartment-sized kitchen sets.
All right, and you have a full list of things that you accept. Where can people find that?
www.findedmonton.com.
And if somebody wanted to support this great concept and organization, how would they go about doing that?
By dropping off their donations in store, which is located at 5120 122 2nd Street.
Awesome, and they can also find you on social media.
FindEdmonton.com, and our Instagram is FindYEG.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.